Alright, we are back speaking with Tataru outside of House Photon. As it once was is the new quest. Where's my thing? Okay. As it once was. Alright. Sorry, speaking with a free company mate that wants to try to move money between their tunes, and this game doesn't allow that. Like, you can't just send mail to your other characters like you can in virtually every other game I've played. So you have to give the money or items to a free company member that's like friendly and wants to help you out, or the tune that needs the money puts up some random item for a gigantic amount of money, like the amount of money you want to transfer basically, and the tune with the money buys it. So like a piece of linen cloth for like 200,000 gil. Probably nobody's gonna buy that, so you can buy it with your rich tune to give to your poor tune. Anyway, as it once was. Looks like Minphilia's mom is involved with this. Alphino, Mercy, I've been looking for all over for you. We've received news regarding Philamine, Hoary Boulder, and Coltonet. Oh yeah, Hoary Boulder was the, again, I can't remember the name. They're Galkin in Final Fantasy XI. I can't remember what they're called right now. Why can't I remember? Anyway, and Coltonet was, like, he was the Galkin paladin kind of dude, and Coltonet was, like, the mage Elizin dude, I think. I mean, it might have been higher. I don't remember. Just call them humans and fucking elven. Like, just... Why? Why change everything? It's stupid. Really? Has something happened? No, it's nothing bad. Quite the opposite, in fact. It seems that once they learned the Scion's good name had been restored, they boarded the next ship bound for Limsa Lominsa. They should be arriving any moment now. It's easy to forget how useful link pearls are, isn't it? When they work, I mean. And you don't mind being spied on. Quite. But what wonderful news, to think that our reunion is close at hand. A pleasure to see you too, Alphino, says Thancred, walking up with, Feely, whatever her name is. Creely. Ah, Thancred. And Creely, what brings the two of you here? Creely and I have been looking into how we might track down Minphilia. And we may have just found the answer. Everybody gets excited for a second. Mercy, when you were fleeing Ul'dah and Minphilia, you said that Hydaelyn spoke to her shortly before you parted ways, yes? Well, assuming that is true, and I see no reason to suspect that it is not, it seems reasonable to conclude that Hydaelyn commanded her to remain behind. That is to say, the Mother Crystal directly interceded to guide Minphilia. Admittedly, this is all still quite hypothetical, but I propose that such intervention, however subtle, must surely leave some residual trace, a lingering disturbance in the ether, or ripple, if you will. In order to establish the existence of such ripples, of course, we will require suitable data. Fortunately, I know where such data can be found, the battleground where Mercy felled the Ultima weapon, and the site of my personal ignominy. It's a word I don't have to pronounce often, I know it, but... 'Twas there that Hydaelyn intervened to shield her from the magic I invoked. Creely and I will infiltrate the castrum and analyze the ether therein. The two of you? Alone? I have a proven knack for subterfuge, and I'm confident there will be sufficient nooks and crannies in which to hide Creely while the patrols pass. Besides, if you and Mercy come along, who will see to Philamine's grand homecoming? When you put it like that, very well, I will trust in your plan. I know not where this data will yield a means to find Minphilia, but it will at the very least eliminate another avenue of inquiry. Tataru and I will return to the Rising Stones and make preparations for our comrades' return. Might I impose upon you to meet them at the Lominsan docks? Of course, bud. Then I shall see the four of you at the Rising Stones. Safe travels. Okay. So we want to go to Limsa Lominsa. I shall use my free travel to Black Shroud, Gridania. We're gonna jump on an airship to Limsa Lominsa. Okay, we're in Limsa. We want to go to the Arcanists Guild, apparently. While we're here, there's still the Out of the Blue quest to start the Blue Mage job, which again is kind of like a special job that can't be used for everything. It kind of has its own journey to go on. Just kind of something to do if you want something different. And then like I think there was Fisherman, Arcanist, and Rogue also. Here's Philamine, and Hoary Boulder, and Coltonet. Cutscene. Oh mercy, how have you been? Come here, let me have a good look at you. Ever the old mother, well, mother. Thank the 12. One hears the strangest tales in foreign lands. I worried about you all every day. We could have sent word sooner, but the Braves afforded us no opportunity. When they fell upon us in the market, it was all we could do to escape, says Coltonet. Tataru found her way to you, of course, but we were forced to seek shelter aboard a Hannish vessel. It pained us not being there when you needed us most, but we made the most of it, didn't we? Coltonet. Studied and trained from dusk till dawn, we did. We would have sent word sooner, but we knew not whom to trust, and with the vast distance. But those dark days are behind us at last. I shall be glad indeed to return home and speak with my daughter. You explain the situation? What do you mean she's missing? How could you let this happen? Oh, that's rude. But okay, I see. You know, Mama. Forgive me. I am sure you are doing everything in your power to find her. As Thancred must be. He watched over her from the first, long before me, and he will watch over her to the last. I shall pray for her safe return, and busy myself in the meantime. For a certainty, there is much and more to be done. The Braves may have bloodied us, but the path remains, and we shall not be swayed from it. Ah, that's the spirit. To the Scions, and a long overdue reunion. Huzzah! Well, there you have it. To the Rising Stones. It's been so long since that's been our headquarters. We've just been using House for Tom. So we see the Imperial Gate, big black gate, mechanical, metal. A couple soldiers salute to each other. And then the patrol walks off while the gate guard watches them go. Looks like Thancred, actually. Yep, Thancred tattoos, hair.
Well done, sir. And with that, I believe we are ready to proceed,
Says Creeley.
Let us be about our business, then. The next patrol may not be so credulous.
I really hate his little chin beard thing. We see a little flash of...
Why must you be so disappointingly brusque? You're not at all as Minfilia described, you know. I don't think you've favoured me with so much as a single compliment since we set out.
We saw a little brief flash of an unconscious guard in their small clothes, which was what I was giggling at.
Tell me, did your time in the wilderness sap you of all your charm? Or are you holding it in reserve for your beloved?
Who's his beloved, Minfilia?
This is neither the time nor the place.
Well, call me old-fashioned, but when I'm risking life and limb infiltrating an Imperial castrum, I like to be sure of my comrades' motivations.
Thancred does look a little bit harried, tired.
I see now where Alphino gets it from.
Put upon.
Minfilia is dear to me. It is true. But not in the way you think. 15 years passed, when she was still but a child. There was an incident at a parade. A gubu broke free of its fetters and ran amok through the streets of Ul'dah. Had I been more attentive, I could have prevented it. But I was distracted, and her father was killed.
Oh shit. I'm so glad I'm actually watching these cutscenes and reading the that's.
I feared she would never recover. But in the years that followed, she showed herself to be more resilient than I had ever imagined. And when she learned of her gift, she did not flinch from the responsibility, but sought to guide others on the path. She touched the hearts of all around her. Mine, Louisoix, every science. In those dark days following the calamity, she was our guiding light, our hope for a brighter future. She had so many dreams, and I would give anything to make them come true.
Okay.
My apologies. I can see she means the world to you. I did not mean to pick at old scars.
That's a really good background story about him and Minfilia, though. I just... good writing, I think.
No harm done, I assure you.
I might be easy to please.
But fair is fair, my lady. What is Minfilia to you?
You mean you don't know? Only my dearest friend. When I finally emerged from my torpor, I learned that nary a day had passed without her asking after me. She never gave up hope.
Your torpor? What torpor? What was going on? I don't
And
recall
neither
this.
will I.
Then for Minfilia's sake, let us pray that these vestiges of Hydaelyn's intervention will lead us to her.
Really just holds out a hand to the control panel and it beeps and opens for her. I'm sure that's just them taking liberties with character movements to not have to like write or draw her typing on the pad, I guess. I don't know. Revenant's Toll. That's 405. Foundation would make it slightly cheaper, but let's just go. Let's just teleport there. 405. That's fine. To drop in the bucket. Actually, that'd be a very interesting thing to mathematically calculate. Like a bucket is generally a gallon of water, I would say. Maybe, I don't know. I don't know what a bucket is, generally. It feels good to be home again. To think that everyone is waiting for us, just beyond those doors. Friends and family with whom we have shared so much. Gods help me, but the older I get, the more sentimental I become. Come, let us not keep them waiting. Hoary Boulder and Coltonet nod to me and follow. We have some new quests in here. Let's pick them up, shall we? Why not? Alice. Thordan's Reign. Stop it. Thordan's Reign. Greetings, Mercy. Yon bard has been gazing forlornly at the door for days, awaiting your return to the seventh heaven. Pray be so kind as to indulge the suffering fool and favor him with one of your epic tales. It seems his inspiration has run dry once more, and only a draft of your most excellent adventuring vintage will slake his creative thirst. Alright, sure, we'll talk to the wandering minstrel, the keeper of knowledge. Mercy at last, in muted agony have I lingered, longing to hear the hero herself speak of her epic deeds in Ishgard and beyond. The frozen tundra you braved, and into the vault of the heavens you ascended, to a sacred peak, both temple and tomb, to a ruined city, reborn and resettled, to a citadel of the ancients you ventured, parting the misty veil of millennia. The journey made by you and your companions has made its mark upon the stars, and I would hear the tale in its entirety. And you do this, that, regale him. Succinctly, apparently. Your words have marked a miracle upon my melancholy heart. New verses arise unbidden and threaten to spill from my lips. My harp! I must have my harp! A little flash in the cutscene, he's sitting and playing his harp. The song of war twixt worm and man some 1,000 years ago began, when mortals grasped for godly might, defaming name of king and knight. In Oz's law for woe or weal did holy will meet righteous steel, and thence was high divinity compelled by light to bend the knee. I have no fucking clue what his tune is supposed to be, but... What say you? Have I captured the spirit of your triumph? Pray forgive any small liberties I may have taken with the details. One cannot evoke the proper picture of your glory without a certain measure of embellishment. Thordan's reign is complete. He has a quest for himself. I will click on and do shortly. The Minstrel's Ballad, Thordan's reign is now accessible. It's a new duty. I don't remember if that makes it harder or... I don't know, it's just... I don't remember what... Yeah, whatever. Oh god, he's got 3 of them. Yeah, fuck it. A Song of Steam and Steel. Oh, it's Alexander. Song of Steam and Steel. The whispering winds bear tales of an adventurer's daring do unto mine insatiable ears. But one episode in particular whetted mine appetite. Did you perchance encounter a colossus of steam and steel in Dravania? You nod. Ah, so it is true. Pray speak on then, friend. I would hear more of your trials and tribulations within the towering automaton. And you do just that, regale him. A god born of goblin prayer? A citadel upon legs whose very life spelled death to all without? How marvelous! My muse stirs at the mention of such wonders, and moves me to song. Hearken now unto your own tale, brave hero. Another flash of darkness, he's sitting down. O friends far and near, I challenge you all to think of a marvel so strange or so tall. A steely-skinned giant whose veins coursed with steam, in whose bright burnished bosom foul goblins did scheme. A heaven to they who therein did dwell, but one whose mere being made all else a hell. Forsooth he could not well be left to abide. Sorry, it's getting out of tune, I'm getting a little bored. So into his huge hand a hero did stride, and battled through legions to reach his hard heart, conspiring at last to rend it apart. Yes, I'm getting bad at this. His core being no more, the giant fell still, though the goblins remained there to plot further ill. I didn't end on a resolving note, it's my bad. Ah, my muses left me, but tell me true, did I capture the essence of your journey? Well, a poet must change 1 or 2 details for dramatic effect. A ballad should rouse its audience, not send them to sleep, after all. Pray accept my humble verse into your heart. Songs give the listener fresh eyes to see, and mayhap mine own will allow you to look upon your deeds anew. Quest accepted. For what? Redoing that last fight? Speak with red bricks in the master's quarter. Okay, fuck. A refrain for the undaunted. A refrain for the undaunted. Also looks like an Alexander thing. A wondrous tale is on the lips of every adventurer in this tavern, the details of which even I can scarce believe. They say that within the rusting relic which straddles the Thaliac, a hero met with a company of warriors wrought from solid steel. Yeah, I guess we did. Aha! I rather thought it might be you, and you say you crossed swords with these dread automata. Splendid! Tell me everything. Let me hear the sounds of battle echoing throughout that giant's iron innards. And you regale him. He nods enthusiastically again. Your story stirs my muse from her slumber. To think that the goblins would contrive mechanical soldiers that could themselves combine to form a veritable walking fortress, and within a walking fortress, no less. The tales of my boyhood were not half as fascinating. Your tale reminds me of another, that of the three great kings, Alexander, Midas, and Gordius, whose names must by now seem rather familiar. Covetous to the core, they spent their lives in a fever of conquest, never for a moment satisfied with their lot. That an ambulating paradise of wisdom and erudition should honor their memory is curious indeed. I can only assume that the genius who conceived it was possessed of a wicked sense of humor. Oh, a story so steeped in myth could scarce fail to stir the spirit of song within me. Lend me your ear, friend, that I might regale you with the tale of your own adventure. Here we go again. In the giant's iron innards, the goblins did toil, through sunrise and sunset, intruders to foil, till the limb of their lodging did chance to awake, a path for our weariless hero to make. And thus did she aim for the beast's second heart, cleaving both it and its keepers apart. Yet in spite of her triumph the goblins all laughed, and by means lost her meaning in victory basked. Yea, the giant of steel was far more than it seemed, with power beyond knowing, potential ungleaned. And thus was our hero compelled to withdraw, resolved to return and do battle once more. I think I tried too much, but whatever. There, a courageous struggle rendered in the naive style, recalling the fantastical tales of youth. But tell me true, did I capture the spirit of your journey? I took certain liberties, of course, but then such poems must do more than simply portray an event. They must tantalize the senses and stimulate the imagination. The hymn of battle is as old as time itself, but sung from the heart it can inspire even the meekest soul to greatness. How do I think the poem will end? I was hoping you might tell me. Suffice it to say, I very much look forward to finding out. Another quest has been accepted, which would have us speak with Light Kick's eyes fixed somewhere. Alright, last one. Who lives, who dies, who retells your story? Who lives, who dies, who retells your story? The fuck is that? That thunder? Sounds like thunder. Alright, what's this one? It looks like that battle where the mechanic thing turned into a spaceship and we had to jump on it and it destroyed the platform. Well met, friend. Might you perchance be able to shed some light on a most remarkable rumor that has reached mine ears, that of a time-straddling hero who did rescue the gobby flock of Idleshire from a future most dire. You regale him, as we have before. Ah, but the 12 smile upon me today. 'Tis a stirring tale indeed, and one made more affecting by the unadorned manner in which you tell it. A struggle for the future so grand as to span the boundaries of time and space. Would that I had been there to witness it with mine own eyes. I must say mine interest was especially piqued by the part about turning back time. If I understand correctly, had you triumphed over the giant only for the goblins to reverse the flow of time, thereby compelling you to do battle over and over and over again, the primal's power would have grown to nigh infinite proportions. While we must all thank the 12 that you and your companions were able to break this vicious cycle, as a performer I must confess to some curiosity over how the final battle with such a foe might unfold. Not that I want for inspiration, of course. Your tale is more than sufficient. Why, even now my muse stirs within me. Hearken unto her song. In the breast of the giant a crystal did stand, whose hunger for ether spelled death for the land. And thus did our hero swear never to cease, till she'd torn out the heart of the great metal beast. Yet for all her labors, both bruising and brave, the goblin stood poised to make history their slave. The giant, however, had plans of its own, and plucked from the goblins the dream of a home, for it saw but one way to set history aright, a champion of ages, a hero of light. So the giant now sleeps as it did once before, in a moment repeated forever and more. Ah, that was better, I think. I was trying to go Tenacious D in the beginning. You will forgive me if I took certain liberties in my retelling of your tale. My audience are a demanding lot, and they have come to expect a certain grandeur from my work. Mine only regret is that I was not able to weave every remarkable detail of this most improbable adventure of yours into my humble composition. Of particular interest to me was the returning theme of desires and dreams, and the power they may come to hold. Though I possess no ancient relic to grant form to one's wishes, might it not be said that music has a similar power, albeit in a more intangible sense? Should your travels chance to take you back to the sense of your scene of your triumph, pray reflect on your adventures with my song in your heart. You may yet be surprised by what you see. Quest accepted. Speak with Snap Clicks in the Maker's Quarter. So where's Maker's Quarter? What's that? That's southeast of Idleshire. That's... I have to fly to there, but I can, so that's fine. And that's also... Okay, cool. Cool. Okay, let's continue the story now, and probably... Speaking of things that I have in my quest log, Drop Dead Shiva is Shiva Extreme. We have Sastasha Hard, Sunken Temple Hard, Amdapur Keep Hard, Wanderer's Palace Hard, Minstrel's Ballad, Ultima's Bane. I don't even know that. Stone Vigil Hard. Ah, stop it. Hullbreaker Island. Oh, that's just regular. I've never done that? Really? Interesting. And the Fires of Som All, so it's Som All Hard. Cool. So inside the Rising Stones, I will probably end, depending on how long this little thing in here is. We're talking to Philamine, Alphino and Tataru here. Alian, FME, it fills my heart with joy to see you both hale and healthy. And what of Higiri? She is well, though abroad on a mission at present. It just wasn't the same without you. Welcome back, my lady. We'll speak with... What the hell names are these? A-E-R, G as in ghost, M as in Mary, H-U-S as in Sam. Elgmus. And he's talking to B as in boy, L-U-O, M as in Mary, W-Y, D as in David, A. Bluumwida, Argamus, Bloomweeda, Argamus, Elgamus, and Bloomweeda. Okay, speak to Elgamus. But we could do with more of that around here. Heartfelt reunions with stalwart companions brings a bloody tear to the eye. He's drinking. That's what he keeps putting to. Yeah, he's drinking from a bottle. Okay. Oh, Ergamus, my old friend. Here's Homai speaking with Isildur. I think I remember Isildur because it's so close to Isildur. To secrete oneself in a ship's hold to secure a safe passage to a faraway land. This is a tale we know all too well. When they are well rested, I should like to seek a formal introduction. Do I wait, my friend? Come, there is no need to be shy. Pray grant me a moment longer at least, though I am happy to oblige you. My legs are rather less accommodating. He wants to meet with Philamine. Hoary Boulder. Ochre, what in the seven hells drove my little brother to come to Mordana? So Ochre Boulder has come with Aenor, a bard archer type, and Ochre is a white mage, maybe? Why you, brother, and the scions, of course. For 1,000 days I trained, that I might grow as strong as you, that I might fight alongside you. Yet now that you are here, I sense you have surpassed me once more. No, do not tell me. You trained with the Hanesh, didn't you? Your eyes do not deceive, brother. I have studied with the trials of the braves, and drunk deep of the souls of mine enemies. I like Hoary Boulder. Glad though I am to be home, I cannot help but think of those who have yet to return, says Coltonet. Once we have settled in, I would join the search. And that is 5 out of 5. We're talking to Tataru now to finish the quest. Sequester cutscene. We view the groups in this large room, taking part in reunions, talking, catching up. Alphino and Tataru are next to me. It's been so long since I've seen them all like this. Too long, says Alphino. 'Twas the chaos born of my foolish ambition which forced them to flee. Though they are returned, there are others yet missing, others whom we cannot forsake. We'll find them, Alphino. I know we will. Minfilia, Ida, Papalimo, every last one. And when they walk through those doors, we'll be here to welcome them home. With me at the head of the queue, of course. We both nod to her. She is correct. We got a choice of foods here. So we have spell speed or critical hit. Critical hit would be better for like all of my tunes. Although spell speed has a piety attachment and critical hit also has a skill speed attachment. So okay. When it comes I think I'd probably do critical hit and skill speed and probably do it on Paladin, because when I'm looking at quest rewards that give food, I'm generally thinking that I want my Paladin to be as up to snuff as possible every time that I go into a an instance, a dungeon, whatever. As it once was is complete. I am going to continue on to the next quest, even though we're at 32 minutes. We're going to keep going. The Word of the Mother. Mother has a capital M, you butthead. Oh, we're gonna get another minion. A Poro Rogo minion. Gosh dang it, why do I have hiccups all of a sudden? Somebody scare me. Please, go. Scare me, now. Mortgages are gonna be gigantic. Yeah, there we go. Thancred and Creeley contacted us a short while ago. It would seem that their foray into Castra Meridianum has borne fruit. They ask that we rendezvous with them in Ishtola in Idleshire, where they will share their findings. Rude though it is to depart without speaking to the guest of honor, I suspect she will forgive me if I return with her daughter. Cool. I don't have to leave this place. I'm just gonna... Oh god, 563, whatever. Or teleporting to Idleshire. If I were to use my home point in whatever that fucking place is, I can't remember now. Ishgard, is it? Yeah, Ishgard. It would probably drop at 200 gil, so whatever. We're running to the southwest, speaking with Creeley, Thancred Ishtola. Cutscene. My apologies. I see I am the last to arrive. So, what news have you for us? Well, as we postulated, there were indeed what appeared to be the remnants of an unexplained disturbance in the ether at the scene of the Ultima weapon's destruction, a ripple at odds with the presiding pattern. Though faint, the waveforms bore strong resemblance to those observed following the destruction of the Isle of Val, when I believe Hydaelyn shielded me with the blessing of light. To confirm our findings, we paid a visit to the Sildine aqueducts. Silda. There we detected the same waveform, but orders of magnitude larger, as one would expect of a more recent disturbance. Hydaelyn, there is no other explanation. Creeley nods to Y'shtola. But there is more. While I studied the site where Y'shtola used flow, it appeared that not 2 but 3 beings had been affected. Yet unlike Y'shtola and Thancred, there was no trail to follow. Our unknown third party was simply there, and then not there. Could be an Ascian. Now, recall your visions of a vast crystal floating in a sea of ether. Though this too is but a theory, studies of gifted subjects suggest that, when communing with Hydaelyn, we briefly leave our bodies behind. So let us consider the facts. 1. Hydaelyn interceded. 2. A third being was caught in Y'shtola's flow and vanished without a trace. And 3. Hydaelyn may have the capacity to summon the consciousness of gifted individuals to her side. You are implying, I take it, that Hydaelyn guided Minfilia into the compass of my magic, that she might summon her, body and soul, unto the ethereal sea? In which case, we must needs continue our search there. For a blessing, the means to do so already exists. I speak of the Antitower, a Charlian construction conceived to provide scholars a vantage point over the ethereal sea. Though I know not where its entrance lies, we need only ask its last custodian, a contrary old crone who, for another blessing, refused to join the Exodus. Master Matoya was the keeper of the Antitower? I had no idea. Then our course is clear. We must petition her aid once again. Everybody nods, and we are off. We're off to see Matoya, the wonderful crone of Oz. Oh, I can't fly here. Poppycock. We have a red quest called An Unexpected Proposal that I can't pick up. It's possibly because I haven't completed a certain part of the storyline. Like, I don't know yet. We'll see. It's level 60 and I'm level 60, so I don't know. Alright. While we're here, we can turn in all these quests. Thordan's Reign, a Song of Steam and Steel, and a Refrain for the Undaunted. And Who Lives, Who Dies, Who Retells Your Story. Actually, there's only 3 I can turn in, but we'll find out which ones they are. It's kind of nice, I guess, to be able to just do them all. Get them done. Well, they're probably going to activate different versions of the fights that I've already done. So we'll see. Snapclicks is here. We'll talk to him. Or them. First rule of Gabi Watchguard, keep steady nerves at all times. Second rule of Gabi Watchguard, if danger comes to Gabi, ignore first rule and make speedy feet. And that's the end of the quest. Cool. Okay. Alexander the Creator on Savage mode is now accessible. Holy shit. I think that's my first Savage I have ever unlocked. Right, there's a goblin named Red Bricks, outside the entrance to Alexander here. One of the hands. Uplighter wants to go inside? Is curiosity not sated? Red Bricks will give guidance, but beware that giant is sleeping, not dead. And a Song of Steam and Steel is complete, which gives us Alexander Gordius, Savage mode. Cool. Someday. Someday maybe. I've seen videos online of like Savage mode solos. I think that's probably like level 90 though, just, you know. Cool. And Light Kick's Eyes Fixed is outside, I think, probably the other palm, the other hand of Alexander here. Light Kick stands guard over Giant of Whirly Cogs. None shall pass! None shall pass! A Refrain for the Undaunted is now complete, which gives us Alexander Midas, Savage mode. Trust the Midas touch. I have had need to use Midas basically like within the first month of moving to Nashville. I had to use Midas, and unfortunately they had like 2 technicians total. And one of them was a young man that kind of rebelled against authority, didn't always want to show up on time, more or less seemed to know what he was doing, but he made it difficult for the manager of that location to, you know, be able to like guarantee work was done within a certain period of time. But and then they sold me and installed, I guess, less than quality brakes, like brand new brake pads that have been giving high-pitched sounds the entire time. And both Midas and another mechanic that I had look at them, just like, Midas was like, there's nothing we can do, you're just going to drive on them and the squeak will go away eventually. And the other mechanic said, yeah, they seem to have sold you lower quality brake pads, and I didn't even know. I would have paid more, hopefully not a lot more, but more just to get non-squeaky fucking brake pads, but such is life. But I hope that they were able to hire people, and yeah. Okay, we are speaking with Matoya inside her cave. Oh, what a surprise! Well, what secrets have you come to extract from me this time? Though it pains me to admit it, your words strike close to the mark. We humbly ask that you grant us entry to the Antitower, that we might use it to seek a friend who we believe has been transported to the ethereal sea. And who told you I could do such a thing, I wonder? She looks to Y'shtola. She gives a shrug and a smile. The tower was abandoned to its magical keepers 15 years ago. They have the run of the place now. If that is no deterrent to you, then by all means. Is that all? I felt sure you would seek to dissuade us from our course given your role as custodian. Role? Hardly. The Forum foisted the title on me. During the Exodus, every entrance to the Antitower was sealed, save one. She looks over to her right, where there's a door. My role consists of making sure no one with ill intent sneaks through it. Such was the Forum's final order to me. Order was in quotations. Well, I can remove the wards right now. Will you be going or not? We will, Master Matoya. We will do whatever it takes to find Minfilia. Discreetly. We'll see about that. You, Baldessian girl, you're staying here with me. I need your help to restore the wards to their original state. The rest of you can go, on the condition that you clean up the mess in the tower. If you encounter any unruly familiars, you're to tend to them. Those are my terms, and I'll hear no argument. Tancred shakes his head. The rest kind of like take a step back. Well, it appears the mistress has spoken. Lead the way, Mercy. The anti-tower is now accessible. I finally have an idea of why I'm going in there. You know, it's on me that I haven't watched all these beforehand, so. I wish I could figure out how to make my scroll wheel work better. I wonder if I have to like clean it out, because it just doesn't work like it should. And the mouse isn't like that old. Sorry. That's not better. It's like you'll scroll up and it will like scroll back as if it's registering a backward scroll, or you scroll down, it'll scroll up like registering an upward scroll sometimes. I don't get it. And I can't like WD-40 it. Can I? No. No? No, I can't do that. I'm just buying a fucking new mouse. They're not expensive. But this one, even mice with the side buttons, I use my side buttons. I use one of my side buttons. The other one, I have trouble like remembering it exists. I don't link it to any actions on my hotbars, so it's just it exists, but I just don't use it. It'd be cool to figure out what I would want to use it for. while I'm on Red Mage, delivers an attack with a potency of 360 to target and all enemies nearby it. So that's Contra 60. So CONTRESIXTE. Contre 60, maybe? I don't know. So that's on a 45-second cooldown. Fletch is my like single target. Use it on cooldown attack for 460 potency. Contra 60 is 360 potency, 45-second cooldown. Instant cast. But it's also much better against, you know, a group, if it can hit a group. The radius isn't gigantic, it's 6 yards. Well, that's actually bigger than my AoE radius by like 1 yard. That's weird. Okay, cool. And then displacement is just like my jump back, so do a quick attack and jump back 15 yalms. I have one that's a charge, which I put on my T. My T button is always my charge. It's how I set it up for myself on all my characters, so that I know, I keep that in mind. T is either movement speed, if that exists, or a charge generally takes the place of movement speed if I have a charge. I have sleep. I never use it. Put target in all nearby enemies, so it's an AoE sleep. That's pretty good. Vercure is my shift middle button, just like on my paladin. So my red mage and paladin both have a cure. I think the red mage one is faster by a little bit. Oh, they're about the same probably. It also gives me dual cast, so I can cast the next one for no cast time. And then if I happen to be in melee range and have the ability to spare, because that is seems displacement. Hold on a second. So I can charge and use engagement, which is my middle mouse button, to do a melee attack. So I charge and do 130 potency. I have one free melee attack with engagement, and then I get my riposte Zwerschwau. Good luck pronouncing this. ZWERCHHAU. Zwerschau. Zwerschau. So riposte, Zwerschau, redoublement, and total, those cost 50. 20, 15, 15, so 50 total. So if I get to 100 in both black and white mana, then I get 2 rounds. I would get a free engagement, which is just, it shares the charges with displacement, which is my jump back. They both do the same damage. So charge, riposte, engagement, Zwerschau, redoublement, displacement, and back to casting my jolt, Ver Arrow, Ver Thunder, and when I get procs for Stone, Ver Fire, and then Fletch anywhere, anytime. And Contra Sixt is better in AoE situations, but whatever. If I want to charge in and do AoE melee damage, I can with Moulinet, and I want, well, whatever. If I just want to do 1 or 2 attacks, it's 60 to all enemies in a cone in front of you. Which is like, it can't ever be worth it. Honestly, Ver Arrow, Scatter, those are Ver Arrow 2, Ver Thunder 2, Scatter, which are my AoE moves. They're always better than Moulinet. Unless there's some instance in which the cone from Moulinet, which is an 8-yard cone, that might hit more enemies than the 5-yard radius of Ver Arrow. Like, it's, as long as I target, I don't know. That's a tough one. I don't know if there's ever really a reason to use Moulinet. Whatever. And then modification, it brings both black and white mana to 50. All combos are canceled though, so you want to use it after a combo. Acceleration makes the next for Thunder, Ver Arrow, or Scatter be cast immediately. So that's my 2, 3, or my like. It's basically like my casting finisher, because the casting is just 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2 kind of thing. So Jolt, Ver Arrow, and then Jolt, Ver Thunder, kind of back and forth, or for Arrow 2 Scatter, for Thunder 2 Scatter. That's, you know, just back and forth 1, 2s. It also increases the potency of Scatter by 50. So if I use it, I could do Ver Arrow, so I could do Acceleration, Scatter, and then do Ver Arrow, Scatter, for Thunder, Scatter. Or if I'm using it for single target, it's a 55-second cooldown, so Ver Thunder and Ver Arrow trigger Ver Fire Ready or Ver Stone Ready respectively, so it's a way to get an instant for sure proc on my higher potency thingies. Embolden increases my magic damage dealt by 5% and damage dealt by nearby party members by 5% for 20 seconds, 2-minute cooldown. And then the basic like mage cooldowns of Swift Cast, Lucid Dreaming, Addle, and Sheer Cast. Let's get reacquainted with Paladin, because I do kind of want to do that, some tanking and whatnot. Reprisal, 60-second cooldown. Enemies that are hit by it within a 5-yard range of me deal 10% less damage for 10 seconds. Divine Veil is a 1.5-minute cooldown. A barrier on myself and party members near me that absorbs damage equivalent to 10% of my maximum HP, which is 1,300-ish. So, not fantastic, but it's a thing, I suppose. Rampart, it's, you know, that much less healing that it's probably better for just me absorbing damage, single target wise. But however you slice it, it removes healers having to heal for 1,300 health. Rampart and Reprisal are just basic tank cooldowns. Rampart's a 1.5-minute, 20-second duration. Reduces damage taken by 20 for me. 20%. Arm's Length will slow attackers by 20%, so they attack 20% less quickly. 2-minute cooldown, 50-second duration. Sentinel also, you know, prevents knockbacks, and draw-in effects, but oh shit, Sentinel I just popped on accident. 2-minute cooldown, 15-second duration, damage taken down 30%, and a 420 is, I was gonna say 6 minutes, but that's not right. It's 8 minutes. 8 times 6 is 40. Yeah, so 8-minute cooldown. Hallowed ground, sorry. Renders you impervious to most attacks, 10-second duration, kind of an oh shit button. I've got Total Eclipse followed by Prominence for my AoE rotation, just 1, 2. Circle of Scorn is a 30-second cooldown, AoE, just off the global cooldown stuff. It also does damage over time to anything it's hits, so it does 100 potency followed by 30 potency, 15-second duration, dot. Shield Lob is my range thing that also has increased enmity on it. I got Clemency, which is 4,000 mana to cast. Cure Potency 1,000, and which is like 3 times higher than normal cures. Maybe like 2.5 times. I don't know. Actually, I could check super quickly, couldn't I? So my regular cure on White Mage is 450. So just a little more than 2 times for Clemency, but it costs so much more. I think I get that for free later on based on certain procs. Shield Bash is not off the global cooldown, so you have to wait for your rotation to like. Usually you don't want to do it mid rotation because it ends your 1, 2, 3 rotation. It ends your Cosmo chain. Interject is my shift. It's the silence. That's off the cooldown, so I can do that anytime I want. I do have a stun that is off the... That might be my off global stun. Anyway, fast play, blah, 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 blah. Spirits Within is still my off cooldown just whenever I need to. And it restores MP, so I have 2 MP restoring things, Riot Blade and Spirits Within. So I want to do more healing. I think my mana is going to be using for like some kind of holy shock thing later also as a damage thing. And I haven't been using Goring Blade, which is off the global, instant 700 potency, all by itself thing. And Low Blow is my use it anytime you need to, 25-second cooldown, 5-second duration stun. That's pretty much it. Wait, I think I would like my Paladin to have the random mount set up. Yeah, that's what I want. I want a random mount. So let's mount roulette there. I can't summon minions here? Boo. Okay. This video is about where I need... Well, let's see if White Mage has anything I go... I don't really use Asylum as much as I should, but it grants healing over time to party members in a 10-yard radius from me for 24 seconds. I thought it was a shield, but no, it's a hot, AoE hot. Assize? A-S-S-I-Z-E, Assize. Deals unaspected damage with a potency of 400 to all nearby enemies. Restores own HP and the HP of nearby party members for 400 potency. Restores 5% of my maximum MP. So, yeah, that's self-target. Okay, that's a large radius. It's a 15-yard radius. So, what's the radius of Holy? 8 yards, so like half. Okay, more or less half. So if I'm in range to do Holy, and I just want to do an Assize as well, it will heal myself and the group for 400 potency, and also just give me mana back every 40 seconds. So why wouldn't I be doing that? The answer, because I'm an idiot and I don't remember it exists. Repose is single target sleep. I don't use that because Cardies don't care. I've been using Afflatus Solus more. It's just an off cool... actually, I think it's on the global cooldown, so I have to wait for it to come up. But it costs a lily, and those regenerate like 1 lily every 15 seconds in combat, something like that. Next action without MP cost. It's like, yeah. I haven't had MP problems with my White Mage, but if I do, I have Thin Air to reduce it. Benediction restores all of a target's HP on a 3-minute cooldown. What else do I use? I use Regen, I use Medica too, I use Medica. I don't use Cure 3 because it's not as good generally. Actually, it costs more is the big problem. Okay. I use Medica 2 all the time because if the Regen gets full ticks, then it's very MP efficient in that way. I still don't have mana problems because you don't want to spam it anyway because the Regen is what you're going for more than the cure potency for like the first hit. If I need to spam AoE, then I can use Medica, 15-yard radius versus the smaller radius of Cure 3. Higher cure potency, higher mana cost. So let's see, okay. 900 MP for 300 cure potency, assuming that it hits everybody I want it to. It's a larger range on Medica, so 100 potency per 300 mana, whereas Cure 3 is divided by 5.5 is 100 potency for every less than 300 mana. Yeah. So yeah, Cure 3 would be more efficient, but also more restrictive. If I stood like halfway between my melee group and my ranged attackers and used it on myself, it'd be great. But again, it's all based on how many people you can hit. And then Tetragrammaton restores a target's hit points for free. No mana cost? Yeah, no mana cost. 1 minute cooldown, 30-yard range. I don't use that. I don't remember it exists. I have it like in my AoE section basically, so I should probably put it somewhere that I can remember it exists. I can do... I want to put Swift Cast into my X. I'm going to put Afflatus Solus as my C and Tetragrammaton as my V. So I'll hopefully be using it because CV, I use those a lot in all of my characters. And X is harder for me to remember to use, and if I'm going to use Swift Cast, I think I'll be able to like, oh yeah, X, blah blah. And I don't ever use Control anything because then I have to move my hand so much for that. Hey Pupper, how you doing? You okay? You okay, Pupper? Love you. Okay. Okay. I might change that shit around because I want to use... Honestly, I should have this thin air thing probably over where I have lucid dreaming because their mana restores all of a target's HP. I also kind of want that to be somewhere where I might use it more. But yeah, okay, cool. Okay. Cool. So a size, I'm going to try to use that more often. Deals damage to a group of enemies, heals myself and party members, and restores MP. I'm going to have that alt. So yeah, alt 1. I'll try to use that more often. Thin air. I could try to put thin air somewhere where... And like most of the time, Swift Cast is going to be used for an instant raise. So maybe having them next to each other would be smart, and I could have Thin Air be my X. Yeah, let's do that. And I want to do like Thin Air, Cure 2, or Thin Air, Cure 3 to make the most, you know, bang for the buck. If I'm going to use a big cure, I want to do. So we do Thin Air, 6. Free, and that cures me for 3,200 damage, which is more than a third of my hit points. What? I gave you scratches. You need more scratches? Of course you need more scratches. You do. Okay, sorry, this video is long. That's the end of it. I will do the anti-tower in the next video, maybe tomorrow. I'm enjoying this game. I've already done the anti-tower several times, and all of the characters that are already well past this point. There's another quest that I want to do. Hopefully I'll come across it organically. I don't remember how I got it last time, but I want it. I want to do it again, and it requires doing a dungeon that not everybody gets because it's just a quest you can pick up. You don't have to. I think it's one of those plus quests. But anyway, I'll see you guys next time. Bye-bye.